Welcome to the Explainer. You know, some choices we make are small, but others, well, they don't just decide what we do, they decide who we are. Today, we're jumping headfirst into a dilemma that really forces you to pick a side on a pretty fundamental question.
So let me just ask you this straight up and really think about it for a second. Would you rather be surrounded by people who absolutely adore you, but for a version of you that's not real? A mask you put on every day.
And then there's the flip side. Would you prefer to face criticism, maybe even get rejected, but for being exactly who you are, no filters, no apologies? This isn't just some fun hypothetical. It's a choice that gets right to the heart of who you are.
This entire dilemma is wrapped up perfectly in this one pretty confronting statement. It's basically laying out two completely different roads, forcing us to decide what we value more, what other people think of us, or what we think of ourselves.
Now, this isn't just some modern self-help catchphrase you'd see on social media. To really understand what's going on here, we've got to unpack it, because it's a philosophical crossroads with some surprisingly deep roots.
So the original Arabic phrasing actually makes the central conflict even clearer. It says, sincere hate is better than false love. The really interesting part here are the key words. As-sadiqa, which means honest or sincere, and al-kadhib, which means false or lying. So you see, the real battle isn't between love and hate. It's between what's real and what's fake.
Okay, so let's walk down that first path for a minute, the path of false love. What does it actually mean to choose to be loved for something you're not? And maybe more importantly, why is it so tempting for so many of us?
This is the path of performance. It's all about figuring out what the world wants you to be. And then, well, becoming that person. It's about hiding the parts of yourself you're afraid might get you judged or rejected. The goal is acceptance, sure, but the method is basically a disguise.
And this lays out the trade-off perfectly. I mean, on the surface, the rewards look pretty good, right? You fit in, everything's peaceful, you get to avoid all that awkward conflict. But then you look at the hidden costs, that constant gnawing anxiety of being found out. That deep inner feeling of emptiness because nobody knows the real you. And the relationships you build, they're so incredibly fragile because they're built on a lie.
So here's the bottom line, the absolute truth of it. When your entire social world is built on a performance, how much genuine self-respect can you really have? The answer is zero, none. You can't respect an image you know is a fraud. The applause always feels hollow because deep down, you know it's not really for you.
Okay, so now let's look at the alternative. Let's see how walking a different path can build a completely different kind of life. This is the second road, the one that chooses authenticity, even if it means facing what the quote calls honest hate.
And it's so important to get this straight. This path isn't about actively trying to get people to hate you. Not at all. It's about having the courage to make your own truth more important than anyone else's approval. It's about saying, look, this is me. Take it or leave it. It definitely takes bravery, but it's a path of incredible strength.
And the rewards for that kind of courage, they are immense. You don't just get a little self-respect, you build a rock-solid foundation of it based on your integrity. And that leads to this incredible inner peace, because the connections you make are finally real. You start to attract your real tribe, the people who actually value you for who you are, not for the mask you used to wear.
So we have these two paths. One offers easy acceptance, but it's fragile. The other offers a solid sense of self-worth, but it can be a harder road. So now we can really tackle that core claim. Why is one truly better than the other?
Let's think about it this way. Everything we build in our lives, it needs a foundation, right? Our relationships, our self-esteem, our sense of peace. So when it comes down to it, what really makes one of these foundations stronger than the other?
This table just lays it all out, crystal clear. The path of false love is built on a fragile illusion. The connections are conditional, superficial. Your self-worth depends entirely on what other people think. The best it can give you is temporary comfort. But the path of honest hate, well, that's built on solid reality. The connections are deep and authentic, your self-worth comes from the inside, and the ultimate outcome isn't just comfort, it's a deep, enduring peace.
And that really brings us to the final verdict of this whole explainer. An honest reality
even if it's difficult sometimes, is just fundamentally more valuable, more sustainable than a comfortable illusion that could shatter at any second. At the end of the day, an enduring truth is always, always better than a fragile lie.
So look, this philosophy isn't just some abstract idea to kick around. It's a challenge. It's a question you can actually ask yourself every single day. So let's bring it home to you.
Let's forget about the idea of being hated for a minute. Let's flip it around. Think about what you value in yourself, your weird quirks, your passionate beliefs, your unique sense of humor. What is that essential part of you that's so core to your identity that you are simply unwilling to hide it for anyone's approval? That's your truth, and that's where your real strength begins.